We're going to get this meeting rolling again, starting with, actually, we're not going to start with the next item. 3.8 is an update on negotiations with Valley Water and Purify Water Project. And I know that Jeff Provenzano is currently speaking in front of the SFPUC, and Carrie is out today. So my suggestion is that we defer this until our next meeting in January, unless is there any concern about doing that?
I'm okay with that, Mayor.
Okay. You want to make a motion, Vice Mayor?
So moved?
Second.
All right. Let's vote to defer.
Jimenez, Peralez,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Carrasco, Davis,
Yes.
Esparza,
Yeah, here.
thank you, Arenas,
Yes.
Foley,
Aye.
Mahan,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Lucardo.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Item 6.1 is power mix and rates. And our team, San Jose Clean Energy, is here. Welcome. Hey, Lori.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. Excited today to introduce a new member of our team, Joe Flores. He is our Deputy Director of Account Management and Marketing. Really excited to have him on the team today. And I'm also joined by Zach Strike, who is our Assistant Director.
So good afternoon, Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Joe Flores, Deputy Director with Community Energy Department. We operate the San Jose Clean Energy, and we're going to be discussing our proposal for our recommendation for setting the 2022 rates and power mix for San Jose Clean Energy. This afternoon, we will go over what those objectives are for setting those rates. We'll walk you through the recommendations, how our objectives will meet these how objectives will be met, and then conclude by talking about the impact and communications with our customers. So with the objectives, what we are looking to be able to do is strengthen the financial resiliency of San Jose Clean Energy. We want to be able to continue along that path of addressing the climate emergency, and we wish to continue to take steps towards promoting equity. Moving on to the staff recommendation. So we are proposing that we will have set an interim rates effective January 1st by changing our standard service of Green Source. We will also be increasing the renewable energy content for 3 of our other products that I'll discuss a little bit more. And once PG&E does make their changes for 2022, we wish to be able to resume the rate structures that are currently in place, and our rate structures are pegged to the PG&E rates. And I want to be able to remind the council that since our rates are pegged to PG&E, there are 2 critical components of that are very impactful for us. One of them is the generation rates from PG&E, and the other is the power charge and difference adjustment that we all refer to as the PCIA. For 2022, PG&E is projected to increase those generation rates anywhere from 15 up to 35%. And the PCIA is expected to decrease in the neighborhood of up to 75%. Both of those will be very favorable for San Jose Clean Energy in terms of being able to earn revenue as compared to 2021. However, I should say that the projections past 2022 indicate that we may be both the generation rates and the PCI rates may move closer to 2021 as we go into 2023. So effective January 1st, what would the interim rates look like? What we are recommending is that we continue to set our green value product equal to the price that PG&E pays. This is very important for us to be able to address those customers that are cost conscious. And what we are proposing that we increase the Green Source product, that is our standard product that most customers are on, to increase that to 12% above the PG&E total bill. Our total green product, which provides 100% renewable energy, will continue to cost 1 cent more per kilowatt hour than the green source. And SJ Cares, which is offered to our lowest income customers that are receiving rate assistance from the state, that would continue to be equal to the amount charged by PG&E. Once PG&E makes their changes for 2022, we are recommending that we go back to the same structure that we currently have, and that we also increase renewable content or 3 of our products. So the green value product would increase from 36% renewable energy to 40%, and it would then be set at the new rate charged by PG&E. The green source product would increase renewable energy from 55 to 60%, and it would be set at approximately 3 to 4% above PG&E's total bill. Our total green product would remain the same, and we're proposing that SJ Cares increases its renewable energy content from 55% to 60%. However, they will provide a discount that would be 3% below the PG&E bill. And this would be after they receive their rate assistance from the state programs. We're going to start to transition now over to how these recommendations will meet the objectives. And to be able to discuss the first one, I'm going to turn it over to Zachary Strike, our Assistant Director.
Good afternoon, Zach Strike, Assistant Director. As a reminder, in June, Council authorized San Jose Clean Energy to borrow up to $95 million in commercial paper notes to cover our power supply and operational costs. This was due to short-term market challenges, primarily high summer prices in the power market and an unprecedentedly high PCIA. Since the June meeting, although summer market prices were high, we'd planned for them and we were well hedged against daily market disruptions. We're on track to borrow $60 million of commercial paper by the end of this month, which was as we projected. It's important to emphasize that as high as rates and revenue are expected to be in 2022 under the staff recommendation, the pendulum will most likely swing back during 2023, as Joe discussed. 2023 is expected to look a lot more like this year. There's a lot of uncertainty to come. Power prices are expected to be high and more volatile over the next few years, and I'll show that on the next slide. The PCIA is expected to increase again in 2023, although not as high as today, and PG&E generation rates are again expected to come down. Accordingly, it's essential that we take this potentially one-time opportunity to save for a rainy day, if you will, in 2022, and work towards building 180 days worth of operating expenses in reserves. The Strategic Plan Framework Report, which we commissioned the consulting firm Deloitte & Touche to prepare, recommended that we work towards building that level of reserves to protect against volatility in power prices, the PCIA, and generation rates, and provide rate stability for our customers. That framework plan also recommends that we carefully evaluate the benefits of moving towards cost of service rates instead of pegging our rates directly against PG&E. This would help us provide long-term rate stability for our customers, though we would always be conscious of how our rates compare to PG&E's, with comparisons posted online along with tools for customers to calculate the difference for themselves. Our rate-setting process would not need to be driven by PG&E's rate-making process, which can be volatile as we are now experiencing. The graph on the left is a comparison showing the PCIA that was forecast in the 2017 business plan prepared for Council's consideration to authorize forming San Jose Clean Energy, compared with the actual PCIA over those years for residential customers. So the high one is the actuals. The bottom two are the high case and low case in the plan. The graph on the right shows an internal forecast for the PCIA in future years and the sensitivity of the PCIA to changes in market prices for brown power and what's called resource adequacy, which is a product all power market participants buy to ensure sufficient energy generation resources are available to meet customer demand. As a result of the 2018 of the California Public Utility Commission, or CPUC, the PCIA is now trued up annually, meaning that fluctuations in market prices are amplified into customer PCIA rates. This year, 2021, was a double whammy of high market prices and high PCIA. So 2022 is expected to be a catch-up year because of the overcollection of PCIA by PG&E in 2021. I'm sorry. The takeaway from these, whoops, can we go back? The takeaway from these two graphs is that San Jose Clean Energy must be prepared to weather significant volatility in the PCIA and California power markets and to ensure stability for our customers. The staff recommendation allows San Jose Clean Energy to stabilize financially. Under the recommendation, we expect to be able to be in a position to repay the commercial paper loan from the city within the next fiscal year. Additionally, the recommendation will allow the accumulation of reserves as recommended in the Strategic Framework Plan report, with more than 90 days of operating reserves in place within the next fiscal year. And now I'll hand it back to Joe Flores.
So moving on to how we will be meeting our second objective, which is addressing the climate emergency. We do know that on November 8th, the San Jose City Council voted to become the largest city to adopt a carbon neutral by 2030 goal. And also the Climate Smart San Jose, the city's climate action plan, also outlines another goal for us, which is to offer 100% renewable energy by 2045. And you can see on this graph that we do take steps towards each one of those goals. And we feel confident that we'll be able to determine additional interim steps to be able to get us to those goals. And the last objective was promoting equity. And what we are proposing is for the SJ Cares program to be able to offer a discount to those customers. And you can see that the impact would be that they would receive approximately a 3% discount as compared to the PG&E bill. And that relates to somewhere in the neighborhood of $3 to $4, depending on where PG&E finally lands in setting their rates. And for the Green Source program, for the Green Source rate, we are looking at anywhere about a 3 to 4% position above PG&E's price, and that would be in the neighborhood of $5 to $6. But the higher renewable energy content ensures that our customers are getting a more valuable product for their money. So moving on to the last item, how are we communicating with our ratepayers? So we did send out a trilingual notice to all of our customers, and we sent out 3 different versions for our residential, our low income, as well as our commercial. We do intend to be able to continue that outreach to those folks that may be struggling with their finances but do not qualify for the low income assistance that may be available from the state. And so we will ensure that they understand that there is our green value option that will set that cost at the same price as PG&E. We will also do some direct contact with our commercial customers to alert them as to what the rates will be, because they may be receiving several different notices, and we can add some clarity as to what lies ahead for them in the future, and also ensure that they understand that we have 3 different products for them to be able to select depending on what is motivating their business. So these would be our 4 products that we would have available. Our green value would still be able to address those customers that are cost conscious and want to ensure that they're paying the lowest price possible. Our green source would be the best value in that it would provide a higher renewable energy content for a small price above what they could pay elsewhere with PG&E. Our total green product would continue to address those that are climate conscious, to provide an easy way for them to be able to either power their homes or their businesses with 100% renewable energy. And finally, our SJ Cares program would offer a discount so that those customers would be paying the lowest amount in the city of San Jose. And with that, here is a review of our recommendations, which is to amend the renewable energy content for our green source, our green value, and San Jose Cares program, and in an interim basis, starting January 1st, to be able to set the green source program at approximately 12% above PG&E, and then be able to keep Green Value and SJ program at the same cost as PG&E. And then once PG&E does make their changes for 2022, we would revert back to our structure that we currently have, but retain the renewable energy content. And with that, we're happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Joe, and welcome to the San Jose team. Great to have you. All right, let's go to the public.
Paul Soto?
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. Thank you for the responsible analysis of what it is that we're going to be continuing with respect to electricity. One of the things that I'd like talked about is the infrastructure that we're planning for the east side. We're going to be installing all of these stations to be able to charge cars. Okay, and all the homes are going to have to be converted to electric. Okay, so the rate hikes are connected to that piece. So these aren't like siloed conversations. In order to really get an accurate assessment, we have to connect what's happening here with that. Because without making those connections between the two and anticipating that it is going to be guaranteed that the rates are going to be hiked, that is irresponsible to do that, to neglect that. Also, the necessity for equity. How do you define equity? What are you using for a definition for that in order to apply here? Again, I need that.
Tessa Woodmansee?
Yes, thank you. Well, thanks, Paul, for bringing up about the electric car, because that's where I think that we need to pay to play, and that I think it should be higher, the cost of, for our charging the electric car. I mean, that's just one thing, that we have to start, getting back to basics essentially, and how we're going to deal with the whole power mix and rates and things like that is, and, to be able to provide for everybody. And I think that also, like, I think Council Member David Cohn was saying, we need to get other monies to electrify all our pre-existing homes. That's a really important goal. And we need to really promote the green energy, not only just as a cost saving, but in terms of our climate crisis. Not only say you save a penny, we have to save.
Blair Beekman?
Hi, thank you. Blair Beekman here. Thanks for the words of Paul Soto. About those East Side charging stations, those are good local procurement and renewable practices that really need to be considered, and the future of local procurement for renewable practices. That connects to why wasn't the ideas of PG&E and their current weird ideas of solar, why wasn't that talked about a bit more? It should be. It's something we need to rally around here and ask them not to work that way. It has to be a real good fight purpose for all of us to ask that of PG&E and not go with these future solar ideas. You're being a bit shielded with the PICA things. It was nice to learn about the PICA things. You have your own commercial paper money issues. Thank you for explaining the ideas of subsidies that's possible for us, but we have to be more and more accessible with the future of renewable energy ideas. And we're
Back to council.
All right, back to the council. Councilmember Mahan.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you for the update and welcome to the team. Was it Joe? Yep, great. Welcome to the team. I just have one overarching question, and I appreciate the challenging environment we're operating in and the decisions you have to make, and I appreciate that we're taking a conservative approach here. The one thing I wasn't able to assess from the presentation is whether or not we are yet at the point where we're able to deliver cleaner energy at a cost that is competitive with or less expensive than where PG&E is. And my understanding has been that recently, because of the PCIA, that has not been the case. And is that still true? I wasn't able to see an apples to apples comparison at different levels of renewables, essentially comparing us versus what PG&E is doing. And And if we're not there yet, what is our path to delivering on that promise of cleaner power at kind of equal to or lower cost?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Very important and very important for customers to understand. And I think it's really important for customers to understand it depends on the product that the customer's in. So Green Value is a product that we launched this year back in May. It is priced at parity with PG&E. So if customers cannot afford the premium of Green Source or Total Green, that is a great option for customers to enroll in. They just need to call our customer service line and enroll in that program. We view that product as being very important to retain our customers, and it is actually slightly greener than PG&E. So customers are not paying anymore, and they are getting a slightly greener
Okay.
option.
And it is slightly greener. That's what I was trying to get at, is
Slightly.
that apples to apples comparison. Okay.
Slightly.
Great.
As Joe mentioned, Green Source is the default product. The majority of our customers are in there, probably, well over 70% in Green Source. That product today is 8% on a rate basis higher, just a few percent on a total bill basis higher than PG&E. We are proposing on the interim rates that will go up to 12% on a total bill basis. Higher for a few months until PG&E implements their rate change and the PCA comes back down. So important for customers to understand that if that is challenging for them, opting down to Green Value is a great choice. That product is significantly greener though, so it is 55% renewable today. We're proposing to take that to 60% renewable. Sounds like Zach wants to.
No, just to clarify, you're now talking about the Green Source product.
Yes, the Green Source.
And how does that compare to PG&E again, where most of their customers are? I understand with PG&E you can also, I believe, opt into 100%, but for their average customer, where is their mix today?
Their mix is 32% today.
That's right.
Okay, so it's almost double the renewable content.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's significantly greener. So obviously, to the extent that our customers and ratepayers can afford that product, we encourage them to stay in it. If they are able to, also take a look at our Total Green product, that's a great option for those customers that can afford it. And then we offer 100% renewable energy in that product.
And great, thank you. And that's exactly what I was trying to get at, was that more of an apples to apples comparison. Our home is Total Green. We're happy to pay that premium for the environmental goals that we have. How does that compare just on a cost basis to PG&E's 100% renewable program?
Yeah, Joe, do you want to take that question? Or Zach?
I think maybe Joe can put some numbers on it. It moves around because in sort of classic PG&E plus CPUC fashion, it changes every year. The various formulas that are thrown into the product that PG&E offers. When we launched, we were a little bit lower. Today, depending on different rates, I think we're slightly higher.
Okay, and I understand how difficult the last couple of years have been. I understand how challenging the PCIA is, and I'm glad that our government relations and advocacy team is out there advocating for our program. And I hope that the situation we're in is kind of an anomaly, and that but I just want to make sure that over time we're delivering on that promise of cleaner power at a comparable or lower cost. So I feel the need to kind of reinforce that point at every opportunity. But appreciate all of your work, and thanks for the update.
All right, looking to Zoom, just want to make sure nobody's raising their hand. I don't see anyone, so I'm going to just ask a couple questions. First, just to be clear about the distinction for, Green Source is our base, is that right? Okay.
Right.
That most folks are in.
Is the default product that customers are in.
Right, thank you, the default. So that's 60% renewable and 95% non-GHG?
Yeah, that's our proposal. That's not where it is today.
Right,
Today
that's what it would be in January.
Yes.
Okay, so we're in the 80s now on GHG free, right? High 80s. I thought we were going to go to 92%, and now I've just heard 95, and I was just curious if there had been some change.
So for 2021, the Green Source was at 90%.
Okay.
And what we're proposing for 2022 would be go up to 95%.
Right. Certainly great news. Is it Is there some recent development that had us be more ambitious? I'm just curious. Or maybe I just misunderstood before.
No, I mean, nothing has changed in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So the memo, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I would point out one thing that is pointed out in the memo, and we've obviously briefed council before on, is that on the carbon-free side, there is some uncertainty regarding the allocation of resources that we receive from PG&E. So often our expected amount that we will get due to our ratepayers paying for those resources, namely the hydro and the nuclear power that PG&E has in their portfolio, and what we actually obtain is an estimate. And so I think our earlier estimates in 2021 were a lower projection, but it actually came in a little bit higher. So that continues to be an uncertainty that we're managing on the carbon-free content.
And right now, that 35% gap between the 95 and the 60, that's entirely hydro and nuclear, is that right?
Yes, yes. So the renewable content, as I stated, currently it's 55%. Our recommendation is to take it to 60. Also really want to point out one thing that changes in 2022, which is great news, is that some of our long-term renewable power purchase agreements have completed construction. So they will come online, and that allows us to provide more cost-effective renewable energy. And so that's why we are recommending taking it from 55 to 60%. And then the balance of that is that carbon-free allocation that we receive due to our customers paying for those resources in the PCIA.
Right. And I understand that you're anticipating for 2023 that PG&E would be reducing generation rates. That doesn't include, I assume, the cost of distribution transmission. Is that right?
It does not. It does not.
Okay.
We expect their distribution and transmission to increase.
That's what I thought.
And again, we'll have to see how the year goes in 2022. Our expectation is that their generation rates will come down, but if power prices remain high, that may not be the case.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's a lot of countervailing factors to deal with here, but it just thinking about, the announcements, for example, around spending perhaps $30 billion undergrounding, which to me seems a little optimistic to believe that's going to actually have a huge impact on wildfire risk, given the amount of time it's going to take to implement any of that. I can imagine all those costs are going to be packed in on the transmission and generation side. Is that right?
Yes. If that's implemented, we can expect that those rates will increase.
Yeah, just means a lot of pain for our customers. Okay, well, I appreciate all the work on this, and particularly on the finance side. I know this has been complex, and it seems like at least we're pulling out of our most challenging situation if all goes well. So we'll continue to monitor closely, and thanks for your great work. There has been a motion, is that right, or no?
I'll happily make the motion to accept the rates.
Okay, motion from Councilmember Mahan. Any comments? Let's vote.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Morales,
Yes.
Cohen, Carrasco, Davis,
Yes.
Esparza, Arenas,
Yes.
Foley,
Aye.
Mahan,
Aye.
Jones,
This is Maya.
Aye.
Yes.
and Licardo.
Sorry, Tony, this is Maya.
Got
Yes.
Licardo.
Okay, I think
And
that's unanimous.
Cohen, aye.
And Licardo.
Aye.
Thank you.
Now it's unanimous. Okay. Thank you. We'll move to item 6.2, which are actions related to issuance of non-exclusive franchise agreements for collection, transport, and delivery of residential clean-out material and construction and demolition debris. There's no presentation. Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak on this? There is a motion. Tony?
Paul Soto.
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. It's interesting how we just talk about green, we need to go green, we need to go green. And yet we're going to have construction unprecedented in this area that is going to require a lot of car exhaust, a lot of petroleum. We're going to have to burn petroleum all day long, drilling into the ground, picking it up, and giving it to these people to ship out of the city. So I appreciate at least some level of responsibility on the part of the city, because the corruption that can happen within the context of this type of industry. We already saw what happened with Ron Gonzalez and the corruption that went with a waste management company. Now, of course, that was just trash, but it's still about hauling waste. And I'll never forget what he did. I'll never forget what he did. And so, yeah, so thank you for being responsible about it. And that's all I got to say.
Blair Beekman.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I just want to thank Paul for what he's saying, what he's just said. Good luck to good practices with this item. And yeah, maybe it can be a time to consider what can be good green ideas around these sort of issues. Thank you.
Tessa Woodmansey.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you. I guess I went, oh, thank you so much. Just in terms of our green energy, I think that we're not promoting it enough. I think it's like saying we're comparing it to PG&E, and I think we really need to educate the community about what the real costs are in not going greener, that we could all, a lot of us could be going greener. And we're like the most wealthy, one of the most wealthiest parts of the community, the world. And so I think it needs to be, really educated, because I don't think there's a lot of outreach from what I see in terms of the community, of how it's, people don't understand what's going on. And even, a lot of time our politicians are saying, we're 100% green, but obviously we're really not. Most of us are in the, whatever that we're on. So I think we need to do more outreach in your communications with the public about the importance of going to that 100% green.
Back to the council.
All right, let's vote on 6.2.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Roscoe,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Esparza,
Yes.
Arenas,
Yes.
Foley,
Aye.
Mahan,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Liccardo.
Aye.
I'd also like to say that Crosco let me know that she was on the attendee side and would like to vote yes on the last item. So that
Okay.
was unanimous on 6.1.
All right, it is so. Item 8.1 are actions related to continuing shelter crisis to activate 2 overnight warming locations during the cold weather season. Welcome.
Good
Reagan.
afternoon, Mayor and Council. Reagan Henninger, Deputy Director of the Housing Department. I'm here with Kelly Hemphill, who is our Homeless Response Manager, and we are seeking approval this afternoon for our overnight warming locations. And I just, before I hand it over to Kelly to walk you through the presentation, I just wanted to acknowledge we are a bit late in setting up our OWL program for a couple reasons. First, some vacancies on our own homeless response team, but also some staffing and hiring challenges with our nonprofit partner, Home First, and also some unexpected projects that our homeless response team worked on this year, such as a safe parking program at Vista, Montana, and Heading in Spring. So we're busy. We're down a few members of the team, but we are here and going to open up OWLs at 2 city locations this winter, and I'll turn it over to Kelly to walk you through the presentation.
Thanks, Reagan. Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Kelly Hemphill. I'm the Homelessness Response Manager. All right, this guy. All right. Okay, as you probably know, in 2019, we conducted a homeless census and counted over 6,000 homeless individuals in San Jose, of which 84% were counted as unsheltered. 5,117 San Jose residents live outside on our streets. They live in encampments, in parks, in their vehicles. There is a shelter crisis in San Jose with over 5,000 unsheltered individuals and only 1,500 shelter beds in our city. The city first declared a shelter crisis in 2015, which allowed us to use publicly owned buildings for shelter. The Housing Department launched the Overnight Warming Locations, or OWLs, that same year. The combination of cold weather and the increase in variants of the COVID-19 virus increases the urgency of adding more beds again this season. Thanks. The Housing Department is proposing to operate 2 OWLs, one at Leninger Center in Council District 7 and one at Evergreen Branch Library in Council District 8. Each site will have 30 beds every night beginning on December 20th through the end of April. The programs will operate from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. with an hour before to set up and an hour after to wind down and clean up. A competitive process was conducted in October 2020, and it resulted in an award to Home First. Home First is the leading service provider of homeless services in the county with a wealth of experience running shelters. Home First has operated OWL since the program's inception. Selecting sites for OWL is challenging every year. The Housing Department must gain approval from various stakeholders while also assessing locations based on minimum criteria, which includes close proximity to unsheltered individuals, close to public transit. The facility has 2 points of access with easily accessible bathrooms. The facility has a room that's at least 15 square feet to accommodate 30 people. There's parking for staff and space for Connex boxes used for program supplies and storage of clients' belongings. The program won't interfere with regular programming or have limited interference. The locations should rotate each season to minimize impacts to the neighborhood and the facility. This year, the Housing Department requested a list of viable sites from both the library and the Parks Department. Over 3 months of evaluation, inspections, and correspondence with PRNS, library, and the council offices resulted in the selection of Leninger and Evergreen. I want to give you a little bit of background and where we have operated our OWLs in the past. So over the past 6 years, OWL has operated at 10 different facilities across 6 council districts. Adding Evergreen Library this season will take us up to 11 sites across 7 council districts. We would like to operate OWL in districts 1, 4, and 10 in the coming seasons. In the first 4 years of operation, the city activated OWLs only during periods of inclement weather, when temperatures or a combination of precipitation, wind, and temperatures became severe. This strategy resulted in 32 activation periods and 122 days of shelter. But it was also tough on the facility staff, and even more burdensome was in the communication to the vulnerable individuals who needed and wanted shelter on the days of activation. So in 2019, we decreased to 2 sites, but significantly increased nights of operation and services. This season, we will offer over 130 consecutive nights of shelter. OWL will operate on a referral system, which is a local and national best practice. It reduces lines and loitering, as well as client anxiety. Referrals will come from outreach and from our region's centralized shelter hotline. This program requires coordination and communication, which is an important aspect to ensure success. Partners include Home First, various city departments, housing, library, parks, public works, fire, police, the attorney's office, the council districts, the county public health, and the surrounding communities. The housing department is committed to providing a low barrier shelter that is safe and secure. We have learned several lessons over the years operating OWL. Aside from operating nightly and by referral only, we learned the value of enhanced services to the facility and to the clients. Home First will provide daytime individualized case management this year, again, and storage will also be available for clients so that they can keep their belongings safe during the day. Home First will conduct daily perimeter checks to ensure the site is safe, clean, and clear of belongings. Meals will be provided, pets will be allowed, bus tokens will be offered, security will be on site during the hours of operation, and daily janitorial services will be conducted in all the rooms that OWL is in. We want to ensure that we're being good neighbors and responding to community concerns. An OWL phone number and email have been established and will be made public to report any concerns or seek information about the program. We created a frequently asked questions document, and Home First is finalizing an operations manual as well. We'll also be working with the council offices to set up regular meetings to discuss OWL with the neighborhoods. This strategy worked very well at Bascom with Councilmember Davis's support and leadership, and we'd like to replicate that model. The Housing Department also facilitated 2 community meetings over the past week to provide information about OWL and in both of those neighborhoods. And we were very happy that there was overwhelming support for the program with general questions about operations, safety, communication, and of course, the timing of the launch of OWL, as Reagan spoke about earlier. So I just want to take a moment to thank Vanessa Beretta on my team, who's managed the OWL program each season, including site selection and ongoing staff training and communication. She's been instrumental in the program's evolution and success over the years. And this year, I'm pleased that our most recent addition to the homelessness response team, Stephanie Jimenez, will manage the program this season. Thank you guys both for your leadership and passion. I also want to just give a quick shout out to Lisa Valerio in Parks and Ann Tran in Library, who've been really supportive. So I look forward to working with them as well. And now I'll open it up for questions.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks to you and Reagan and your teams, because you're doing the most important and quite often the most difficult work in our city. So thank you for what you're doing. We're going to go to the community first, and then we'll come back.
Paul Soto?
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. Thank you, Kelly, for that report, and thank you for the work that you're doing for people that are challenged with having no home and having no place to put their things, and really having nobody participating in what it is that they're experiencing as citizens in this community. So thank you for that. The embarrassing part is that and this is directed to the council, is that these programs are not located where the need is. Now, the prior programs, those were excellent sites. Roosevelt, Tully, Bascom, these were because that is where the people are. This is where they're experiencing it. And human beings, as human beings, we get territorial. You're not going to go clear across town if you're familiar with a particular body. You're just not going to do it, period. And I think that needs to be factored in to the decisions that is being made, because those are completely out of where the
Tessa Woodmansey?
Well, I think the most concerning is that there are almost 6,000 homeless in San Jose, and I've heard it's almost up to 10,000. So You know, and that's the issue is really how, and it was interesting to hear Chris Burton of our park, you know, planning, code enforcement and building saying that in our general plan that was all focused on jobs, that was wrong because we didn't know we were going to have a housing crisis. So that really, we need to really change our focus to have housing. And we saw that right here, that when in our neighborhood, that it was rezoned away from residential to go a commercial neighborhood, which doesn't allow any housing right here in our very walkable, very nice neighborhood that we should all be living in. And, you know, didn't allow housing in that neighborhood commercial because of something added to our general plan that said that the pollution was too close. Meanwhile, you know, we're all living here.
Blair Beekman?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks for this item. You know, way back in 2014, warming stations, we couldn't have one unless it was at least, I think, maybe it was 32 degrees or lower, you know, freezing temperature or lower. We made a lot of strides since then. You know, 48 degrees became kind of the standard to start a warming location. You know, we've developed good practices over the years. You know, with the PLA items, with renewable energy items, good luck how we move forward into our future of just creating a real good idealism in how we talk about these issues. And that, you know, I think can help provide us good direction, what we can be doing. And I hope we listen to ourselves and hear what good advice is and not be fearful of things. Good luck how we can talk openly about issues and move forward progressively.
Back to council.
All right, back to council. Councilmember Davis.
Thank you. I just, I know they're not in my district this year, but I just wanted to thank Reagan and Kelly and Vanessa for all their work on the OWL the last 2 years as it was in Bascom, became a shelter over the pandemic, and to welcome Stephanie. I'm sure she'll do great in the new role. I had a couple of questions that I didn't see mentioned. Will there be shower and laundry services available?
We did not include that this year. However, I think that there's potential in leveraging some of our other contracts in the future, but we do have to talk to Dignity on Wheels about their schedule.
Okay, yeah, I think it's always helpful to have that, and I know that the neighbors also appreciate it. And then another question, if the referral system, what happens if the referral system results in empty beds or open spaces? What's kind of the plan for making sure that we utilize all the beds that are available to us, even with the referral system? Because that was one of the issues that we had at Bascom early on with the referral system.
Thank you for that question. That's a really good question. This year, and most years, we're going to prioritize the people who are sleeping around the proximity of the facilities. But we're really lucky this year that we have a centralized shelter hotline that was stood up during COVID, and that is live, and they have transportation, so they'll immediately be able to transport people who are on a wait list or just calling in live. So I'm very confident this year, at most years, we'll be full quicker than in last year's.
We'll be reporting daily our numbers to that centralized hotline, who will then be able to fill them with their wait list, which is what we did not have when we first started Bascom.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. And I was just encouraged to see meals, security, enhanced services, all of those things that we kind of piloted at Bascom are continuing, as well as the neighborhood outreach and the availability with a hotline for concerns. This program has really changed over the last few years, and I really appreciate our ability to be able to do overnight warming locations and to do them in a way that I think is a benefit not only to the neighbors but also to the clients. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any other questions? Councilmember Arenas.
Thank you. I also wanted to join in and say thank you to our housing department. One of the warming centers is in my district, and they just did a wonderful job in bringing in our surrounding neighborhood. And to get feedback, we happen to have a creek. It's called Thompson Creek, and some of you may be able to see it as you pass the Capitol Expressway, but it also extends out throughout our neighborhoods in District 8. And there is a number of people always living at Thompson Creek. It's also a source site that allows for some additional, some peripheral services for those folks, which I'm really grateful for. These are people who've been living in the creek for a really long time, and our neighbors, their neighbors, that have to find the happy medium in terms of how do we live with one another, knowing that you're there and I'm here. And I'm really proud of this particular neighborhood. It's the Thompson Creek Neighborhood Association, and the folks who came in weren't necessarily part of the neighborhood association to the meeting. Some of them were, but I'm really proud of the district and how over the years they've invested in this relationship between our unhoused community and themselves, and so much so that Valley Water says that this is one of the cleanest creeks, because we manage, or our residents, I'm saying we, but really our residents around Thompson Creek engage this unhoused community so well that they employ them in the cleaning of the creek on an ongoing basis. And so anyways, I just wanted to give that little nugget, but at the same time, thank the team for their hard work. This is the first time we're going to have this here. We do have warming centers, but typically in our larger churches, and not through the city of San Jose. And so we'll see how this one works. We have a church right across the way from there. It's Grace Church. And there's a new congregation that's really happy to partner up. And so I want to just let you all know that, and my team will give you the information for this team, but we happened to be at an event together, and they were happy to offer themselves for any support services along with our neighbors in that area. So thank you.
All right, Councilmember Esparza.
Thank you. I just wanted to quickly thank the housing staff, and also thank Councilmember Davis and the neighborhoods around the Bascom site, because that really, once it went to Bascom, there were a number of, I think, improvements, and there were a lot of things that folks tried out that we're able to benefit from now. So I just want to thank everybody for that. That's it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. I got a text